Pops, everybody, Pops is out of town, like Wayne said. And, you know, but the show goes on, of course.
Show must go on.
He called me a couple of days ago and told me he was going out of town. Asked if I didn't, you know, I was going to be here anyway. But when he says that, I got to be on time. And it just can't be here. I got to be here on time. So.
July 31st, it says, let them wait, and wait they do. All relationships are like contractual agreements. Each party expects to receive certain things. In our intimate relationship, sex is like a signature on a contract. Unfortunately, many of us sign the contract without reading the fine print. And by the time we discover what kind of deal we are being offered, we are bound by our signature. Some contracts have a 90-day grace period. 90-day grace period. This gives the parties the opportunity to examine the merchandise, test the service, make any necessary adjustments, or bow out of the agreement. It makes sense to apply a grace period to our intimate relationships. We may need time to assess behavior, true intentions, and the performance history of the prospects. Fine print issues such as habits, motives, and background cannot be seen with closed eyes. I am willing to read the fine print. That's deep. You want to contact on that?
I got
Who are you first?
how y'all doing? I'm Tony Campbell. Doing good. I just got a word about I just got a confirmation from the top boss on my job. This gentleman told me today. He said, Mr. Campbell, whatever you're doing, keep doing it. He said, we like the engine. He said, I like what I see in you. This is the foreman that runs the place. He runs this place. And out of all people, he approached me before I left. He said, Mr. Campbell, come here. I said, what's going on, Frank? He said, keep that engine running that you got going. Because I'm running from the can conveyor to the register. I'm running the front end of this recycling compound. And I'm running the front end really by myself. The only time I need assistance is a low-grade board or a high-grade board come to me or a catalytic converter. I haven't learned how to read them yet. And all other metal, brass, the copper, 1, 2, 3, 1 and 2, insulated 1 and 2, not me. So we watch it. That's a good thing. But this here, contract relationship, I got involved and didn't read the fine line. But I read the fine line when I moved in. And I had to reach the contract. And I jumped out the nearest window. But when I jumped out the window, I landed in prison. So, but it changed me for the better. But it's very crucial that you get to know someone and, you know, be mentally, physically fit if you want to collaborate with this person. You got to know their ins and outs. You got to learn their likes and dislikes. So, you know, I'm slightly involved now. I'm gradually reading the fine line. Reading the fine line, day to day. Collaborating with each other, talking. That's pretty good. I like that.
I think, like what you said.
Who are you though?
Oh, my name is Daniel.
You check in,
My name is Daniel. You know, I've always had this issue, especially being a little bit younger. I like shiny things, whether that translates into beautiful women or whatever. And you know, sometimes I equate this to reading the terms and conditions. I might read the terms and conditions and skim over them and be like, oh, I'm willing to compromise, you know, having to deal with that in order for I can have this product. You know what I mean? And I think it's, I just think it's important that you really, you know, actually know what you're getting yourself into. You know what I mean? Take advantage of that grace period to get into the relationship.
Okay.
I'll go. I'm Jordy. When it comes to the contract and the relationship, when I think of any relationship, it's about relating. And if I can't relate, then I can't be in a relationship. If the person that I'm trying to be in a relationship can't relate, if they're too immature or too nutty or whatever. You know, they can't relate with me, and we can't be intimate, not just like sexually intimate, but intimate, like connected with each other and relating with each other, then I have no business being in a contract with anybody like that, you know? There's gotta be equality in a relationship. There's gotta be, you know, if I got a place to live and this person doesn't have a place to live, she might be just trying to sponge off me or something like that, which is something that I've encountered just recently. This woman, she came around, she told me she'd gotten beat up by a guy and that she was sleeping in a park. And I'm like, oh, I can save you. You know, right away I'm like, oh, I can save you, you know, and I had to back off. I had to tell her, you know, it's time to go. You gotta go. I don't care where you go. Just get somewhere else, you know, because I'm not gonna try to have some kind of thing with you when you don't have your own, you know. I don't want to back off later and think, well, you know what, is she just with me because I got a roof over my head and I can provide something for her. You know, I need to have equality. I need to be with somebody that can relate with me, that's, you know, on my same playing field, my own same level. You know, and that's kind of my experience right now. That's where I'm at.
Yes, sir.
My name is Rafiq Muhammad. Relationships is an instant gratification for, you know, your senses. You know, relationships come in two ways. It comes through your intelligence or it comes through your stupidity. And what happened was when I was younger, I used to take on relationships based on things I seen rather than things I know. And you had to take your time and establish something that's not a facade, because people put on so many images that these facades will have you thinking one thing, but you're dealing with another one. Well, the underlying thing we're taking on an agreement at the end to talk about a fine print. If you overlook the fine print, you might find yourself in a death chamber anyway. You might sign your life away if you're not having looked underneath looking at the characteristic, personality, or whatever the subject matter you're dealing with, whether it's a woman, whether it's a business, whether it's even with yourself. The biggest problem comes with knowing yourself. Before you can extend yourself in a relationship, you must know yourself and know what you want for yourself. Then you can invite people in and start establishing real relationships rather than those that deteriorates, cause you psychological problems down the road, cause you complications with police officers, cause you complications throughout your life. So if you're able to just make a conscientious decision before you talk about a relationship, there's a difference between knowing someone and knowing about somebody. And you can know about somebody and not know that person, and then you find out you got a monster in your hand. And or they can put you in a situation that you wish you never had. You know, so you know, with that, I pass that on, hoping somebody can grasp something from what I said, because I had to learn it. You know, when I was young, I used to do what this brother said. I like the shiny things, I like the beautiful women. All these facades that I grew up on, I was acting on it, not knowing who I really was myself. I thought I knew who I was, but I didn't. So I didn't have a relationship with myself, so I couldn't have a relationship with anybody else. You know. Yeah, so, you know, with that, hopefully, man, I shared something, man, that would be beneficial to everybody in this group, man. I like this group, man. That's why I came back a second time.
Amen.
Yeah, we're glad you came back, bro. Yeah. You wanna go next?
How you doing? My name is Michael Fox. If nobody don't know me, the guy with the little girl over here. Okay, like contracts and agreements and stuff. I ain't young, but I'm younger than you know. But I've always been like jump right into it, ask one question. The day I meet you, the next day I with you. 2 weeks later we broke up. So I'm only basing it on like if I was knowing somebody when you know do it and all that. But different relations, like he said back there, like different relations, not just relationship with a woman or a sexual or whatever. Different relationships like friendship, partnership, or anything, So I just like, I'm a risk taker. I saw risks a lot. So I feel like if you don't take no risk, you don't get fed. But that's just called fast money go fast. So yeah, fast money come fast money go fast. So that's all I've been, been doing, you know what I'm saying, a little bit throughout my life until the jail period finally hit me in my head and like, look, we got real fast place for you. But you're gonna get out fast. You get here fast, but you don't get out fast. So it changed my fast way of thinking as far even with relationships. So that's all on the contract things out there. But other than that, I like all the acts. I can pass it on down to any one of you brothers. Go ahead and take off from me. See y'all later. Thank you. Appreciate it for listening.
DeAndre. Yes, I think that it's called
Thank you, my brother, my brother. I love you to death. I'm glad to see you. Oh, fine. I never talk about you. How you doing? You look good. Thanks, bro. Herb Kelly was just talking to me yesterday about you. Come in, bro.
DeAndre, man, and I think that as I get older, man, I think I like the grace period. I think the selection process is a real important thing because I think in my youth and not in my youth, I jump into things fast, and I think it's good kind of know what you're getting into. I'm not a young man no more. I think TD said it best, man. He said it's in the it ain't the big button that smiles. It's a little deeper than that. You just gotta go through a selection process, man. Especially when you're you gotta find a fit. You can't just get in where you fit in. You gotta have a fit. So your lifestyle, your life, so everything you got to do. So and as I grow older, I appreciate gaining that knowledge. Listen to that, man. Because that's just so true. So I'm like my selection process has gotten better since I'm older. And that's what I got for you.
I got a quick comment on what you said. I met a lady one time. We got done talking on the phone. I said, can you send me a picture of me? She responded and told me that, no, I'm not going to send you a picture of me because I'm so pretty. And I'm afraid that you might take my pretty. I'm just so, matter of fact, I'm too pretty to date, she told me. And I said, really? I said, man, what is your name? So I researched and pulled up on Facebook. And the picture that I seen, I said, you know what, baby? I said, I'm happy to hear that you into yourself like that. It's great that you love yourself. I think you kind of overboard. She was 40 years old with 6 kids, 6 grown and 3 at home. No, 3 grown and 3 at home. 40 with an infant. I said, baby, I'm going to tell you to be lucky as anybody. So give me 6 kids. And I was just like, wow, it ain't all about how you look, woman. It's mentally, physically, spiritually that you got going. You can't know how you look, man. I was like, really, though? You never heard anybody tell me I'm too pretty to date. I'm just too pretty to really date, to be honest with you. I might just give you a chance. I might think about it. Really, though? Die to that. I've never heard of that like that.
What you got for us, Phil?
Well, I've noticed a shift in relationships over the years. I've been single, really. I'm having a serious relationship in about 8 years now. A lot of people don't understand that. Part of it is I want to live for your Bob, and I just don't want to tamper with myself like that. But so many women out here now are such good actresses. It's like they sing one way, and then when things really get in the mix, I see that shift. There was a girl I was dealing with the last time I really had a relationship. And I was in a halfway house in St. Paul. But they kicked me out, and I didn't really know her that well. She said, you come stay with me. Nicest little thing. I thought she was rich.
I didn't find out. She was, she just got her SSI sucked.
Okay.
Ooh, that's rich.
We stopping everywhere. She buying me clothes. I mean, she was the nicest thing. And at one time, I was reading her stuff. I said, "Are you sitting here taking advantage of a person that's schizophrenic?" I said, "This is what your life has come to." And I felt so bad.
Really?
And I did. I mean, back in the day, now I'm telling you, this wasn't that long ago. It was about 10 years ago, maybe. So I had really begun to change. I ain't really trying to let no woman just take care of me, But I was kind of down. I was in between.
Yeah.
I mean, really, we ride on the bus. We jumping off the bus at Sears, at Target, buying a bunch of stuff. But anyway, one day, she's laying in the bed. She used to suck her thumb. Grown woman. She used to suck her thumb. So she's laying in the bed. She's looking at me. And all of a sudden, she said, "You homeless MF."
That wasn't funny.
Y'all laughing.
That's not funny.
Really? Man. And I looked. I mean, we just got finished with a session. So, like and she's curled up, and this is what she says to me. Then she starts screaming and hollering. Yeah, I mean, it was crazy.
Really?
And so all I'm saying is that, I don't know if it's the times, I don't know if it's crack, I don't know what this stuff is, but it's like the whole situation has changed. I've never seen people flip like that.
Wow.
That's just one story, and I don't want to take the whole thing away. But anyway, we can't stay, but I just wanted to put something on the table for you guys. We need some support. Me and my little brother here, he's been staying in the building we're at. Prince told me about the building up the street here. He's been there 10 years, I've been there 3 years. You know what they did? Ran background checks on us. All of us have to go by the 31st of August.
In 5 children.
Yeah.
What program y'all in?
There ain't no program. This is an apartment building. I'm paying righteous. What's 1900 Thomas Avenue North? A conglomerate just bought it on the 31st of May.
5 or 7 buildings over there.
Really?
About it. Yeah,
See, they just bought it, and then we're not renewing your lease. Everybody in there got it.
They don't send us an eviction notice. They brung everybody down. Phil had a yearly release. When he got moved in, I had a yearly lease. They pulled all of us in the office and made us sign month-to-month leases. And then the other agency came in and bought
the building.
Yeah, and then they are now saying that they're not going to renew us.
It's one thing that's going on that they say corporate America is trying to buy North Minneapolis.
And that's the thing.
Exactly
it's a gentrification move. But they do it in a neutral sense by saying we're doing it because you got a criminal background. I said, well, look, what was the point of me going to the penitentiary for? To pay my debt to society? You're going to judge me about something that happened 12 years ago.
Wow.
We're rent-paying people. There's no violation of the lease whatsoever. We just don't want you here anymore because we want to remodel and we want to charge $1,200-$1,300 for these apartments.
Yep. They're buying over North.
They only did it because George, the basketball stop, built that stuff over there right there.
Yeah, he's right up the street.
So they want to be in competition with that man.
Yeah, we're 2 blocks from him.
I know where y'all is at.
Oh,
Y'all in them old historical
yeah, exactly.
buildings. The one that still got China cabinets inside the house.
I think my landlord is on it because he went up on all the tenants' rent, $100. He didn't say $25 or $30. He said a whole flat whopping, $100. So in return,
No, it's a cap though, ain't it?
no, he just put up 100. So we said, what are we getting in return? What are you gonna give us? A swimming pool, a gym? I said, what are we gonna get? Nothing.
Well, go up there high in one
You have a
spot.
whole 100.
This is in agreement with this thing we just read. We talk about relationships. I've been in a relationship with these people for 10 years. There's 3 owners been in this that had this property in the last year. Not 1 year, 3 years down the line, we switched management. We done switched managements on several occasions. First, the lady that initially rented to us, she knew all about our background. She was okay with it. We never been a problematic. We paid all our bills. We never laid on our rent.
Wow.
We've been exceptional tenants. No police activity. everything that you would expect to throw a person out, no bringing in drugs, no narcotics, no, all these things that they call themselves putting people out of places for, we haven't violated any of those things.
Wow.
What happened is we got another landlord, well, I was talking to another tenant in the building, and he was saying that the lady that initially sold it to the second person put it in there that he couldn't force the people with felonies out. So he couldn't do what this company is now doing. So when he sold it to the next company, then he didn't put that restriction in. So that company comes in and said, well, we have a policy against felons. No felons in the UD felons, whatever. They kicking women's kids out of all these other buildings. It's just not me and Phil. We just the tip of the iceberg. Yeah, it's greater than that. I talk to, they kicking handicaps out, veterans that done got a little trouble in their life back in the day, or after they got mental problems coming out of the service, they did things, they know they almost 100% disabled. They don't care what these problems is, or what good conduct a person showed, or anything in a period of time. They just saying, hey, our policy say you can't be, we don't want you after the 30.
Wow, man, we may need to get somebody to look into the legality of that.
That's what I like,
know,
and that's what I wanted to express that, you know.
Yeah, we may, but in the meantime, though, Phil, so how much time y'all have?
To the 31st of August.
31st of August.
Yeah, and they served us on the 18th.
Well, we had it
of
the
July.
30th actually. What they did was they gave us from, they called themselves, actually we was looking at the Attorney General's manual, and it said that they supposed to give you a 4 months, 31 days in this month, but they only gave us 30 days. Which they tried to give us some time, another month that they couldn't give us no time in because we paid rent for that month.
Right.
That we wasn't being evicted for that month, or put out for that month, we were being put out for the following month thereafter. So from the first day that you pay your rent on the first, you got to the whatever end of that month to be out of a building. But they only gave us 30 days rather than the complete 31 days.
Well, they're supposed to give you 60.
No,
It
not
could be
on a
30
month
or
to month
60.
lease.
I kind of looked that up.
Not on a month to month lease.
Look that up.
So, we in a real dire situation because it's already hard for you to find housing.
Sure it is.
And what the politicians and what people are not doing, they're not trying to situate why you can't go back so far to use something against a person to put him out of a place or anything like that. I can understand. Now, don't get me wrong. I'm a law abiding. I believe in the law now. At first I didn't. I couldn't stand the police. I did not like the law. And I feel like I should be able to do what I wanted, you know what I mean? But nowadays that I've grown older and more mature, I understand that it's good reason for the law too. You don't want to put a person that may hurt a kid in a kid environment.
Hey, Will,
You don't want to put,
I want to say something for a second. Pertaining to what you're talking about the building. I live right down the street there on 19th Thomas. Those 4 buildings have historically been for felons. Even sex offenders. Even level 3 sex offenders.
yeah,
Maybe 2 or 3 years ago, 2 at the latest, at the earliest, they had a political movement about some of the sex offenders or criminals living in certain areas. That was one of the specific spots that they talked about. That lady was she was really cool.
Yeah,
She said, well, as long as you pay your rent,
That's
don't bring
it.
no police here,
That's
and
it.
do what you gotta do, you can come here. They had told her, you only got a certain amount of time where these people can stay in these buildings. Because we want these people out, moved around. And you gotta look about, that's politics side of it. But then you gotta know the business side of it. They get y'all out there, moved out there, they can raise their rent, you know what I mean? And go on down the road. But they ain't never really been no serious incident. Like I said, I lived out a couple houses from y'all down there. So I do know that. And so my friends live in the building, so, but it's politics, man, it's money, you're not gonna stop it, you can't really, they done checked all the legalities out of it. They done already checked all that out before they even made these rules. Since that lady sold it, she knew when she sold it, it was up for him to go.
Yeah,
She knew that.
but we should still look into it.
Oh, yeah, it's working.
Because they break the law all the time.
That's true.
So we can't just assume that they're standing
That's
on the
true.
side of right when they've been on the side of wrong for so long.
Right.
So we got to still look at the legalities of it. In the meantime, we could go on and on about this all night, so I don't want to just get caught up in this here. But Phil, it's good you brought it here, so, those of us who know some resources, right, some apartments and things, on my ex-felon, over there where I'm at, they took me, right, so if they took me, the odds is, they would take you, and so it's, it's other options out there, and those who have resources or know of some other options, please let the brothers know, what I'm saying? Let's get offline and exchange information.
Is it just the two?
2010.
No, it's about 20 of us all together.
It's a lot.
Because it's an apartment across the street and there's another.
Go ahead, because.
No, the street is one on each corner. So
Going
there's
on and
people
on
out of
about
each,
it, though, 'cause-
each one,
Yeah, we can't.
Yeah, I got you.
Because we can't do much
Sure.
about it, but
I just want to
we
bring
can
it to your
take
attention.
steps to address it. So just, let's get with each other, man, and exchange information if you have some support for Phil and brother. What's your name again, brother? Huh?
Rafiq.
Brother Rafiq, yeah, brother Rafiq, yeah. And let them know. What you got for us? We need to hear a female.
Point of view.
That's right. I want to right.
Well, we were talking about relationships, and
Right.
they were saying in relationships, some go for a certain amount of time, and in a relationship you might find someone that you might think that you know, but until you got deeper involved in the relationship, you found out like, who is this person? Because you didn't read the fine print on the person. You thought you did, but then on the backside there was another clause. It was in fine small print, and that's when you begin to, the layers begin to come off, and you say, oh, that's who you are. And then we spoke about the contract in summer in 90 days. I can just speak for myself personally. I say my contract, sometimes contracts, not only do they have grace periods, sometimes they're over. The contracts are over. It's up. Jig is up. So I can just speak for myself personally. I've been in a long binding contract for 30 years. And so you would seem to think that that contract would be a lifelong contract. But things happen, people change, and if you don't, and this is just a nugget for everyone at hand, if you don't work on a relationship, if you don't work to make the relationship and evolve consistently, it'll get old and stale, whatever it is. So that was just a little nugget for you to put in your pocket. And so I'm at the end of my contract. This is at the end of my contract, and we'll see what happens.
Renew your contract?
Not this one.
Okay. All right.
I can renew a new contract.
Okay.
I've been married 30 years. Yes. And we just seem to have found ourselves in different positions. And then, you all hear that while people say it's sad, and it is sad. And I'm not saying it's easy. I'm just telling y'all. I always keep it 100. That's why I am the pop queen.
No, Judge, preach.
So, it is a tearing. Just think, I've been with one person for 30 years. So now we have a tearing. So it'll be a tearing of my heart. It'll be a tearing of my life, and everything it'll be different. But you know, in life, you hold the reins to your life in your hands. Now you can stay there. I can stay there and continue to dig and keep getting this hard dirt. You know, or I can go somewhere else and try to dig and I might hit some gold. Okay?
Preach.
Now, you know, it's up to me. So I've tried for such a long time to try to maybe find me a different ground, but I can't. So I've decided, and we're very respectful. We're very respectful. After 30 years, we're very respectful to one another. I love if my husband needs anything, if I win the lottery today, he getting half my money because for 30 years we've been all right. You know, we've been all right, but there comes a time that as a woman I need more. I don't want to go through life just copacetic. I ain't so old. I ain't so old that I don't need to be loved. I have a lot of love to give and I need to receive love. So I've just decided that it's just time to move on.
Amen. Come on, man.
All right.
Come on, y'all don't hear the church out there.
Ice on that.
Somebody new.
My soul.
Somebody who ain't said something. Can we get some?
Yeah, I'll say something. My name is Jeff.
Hey, Jeff.
Pop Grp. Been home 15 days as of today.
Hey,
I gotta get in touch with him before
My wife moved me up here.
Oh, you did? Okay.
I was in bad shape when I got here physically. I had a colostomy bag, feeding tubes. And thank God that y'all got good medical treatments and stuff up here. The Mayo Clinic gave me a second opinion, took my bag out.
Amen. Yeah.
After that, old habits died slow. I gravitated back to the streets. And me and my wife went to prison. She did a year and a half. I just did 7 years. Throughout that, she passed last year. She was on a collision on Highway 94. So, Pop, he used to come to Red City. And this guy, Jermaine Ferguson, we took a liking to one another throughout the years I've been incarcerated. He was like, man, you ought to sign up for this group, man. It's real decent. You know, I was still battling with the fact of losing my wife and out the hole, fighting staff, et cetera, et cetera. So finally I did make it out the hole where I signed up. Jermaine put me on the list. So I met Pop, did the little assignments and the lessons, and I got in tune with myself. That's right. You know, as a subtractor, a divider, you know, and I was lost because I didn't know where I was gonna go in life, man. You know what I'm saying? I ain't know further as like really where I was going. I ain't have no idea, nothing. At the time, I didn't even care. You know, so after completing the first class, I signed up for Silent Cry. Pop was like, man, I got you. You know, so I told my situation. I mean, I was down to 7 months, man. I didn't even realize I was just supposed to come home. So I told my dilemma. I have no immediate family but one sister. She's healed right now. So it was kind of a juggle if I'm going back to St. Louis, Missouri, or stay up here. So Pop just was like, man, stay up here. I got you. I'm like, man, this is some game, man, that this man telling me. This is a Pop group, man. How this man got me, man? You know, it was just something about the class, man, that like, I'm going to see what this is about, man. So my cuss level dropped and they sent me to Moose Lake. Lord knows I ain't want to go to that place. But anyway, I called Pops when I got there. He's like, he don't come to that particular prison, you know, to teach. He's like, give me your information, get out, you know, and get in contact with the right people, you know, get you situated. Sure enough, man, got it good. I'm living over here in the Pop house.
Come on now.
I'm working the next day. I got out on a Monday, Tuesday. I went and saw Marvin Clark with the nerve. Pop got me a job. Been working there since. Yeah, this brotherhood, man, make it more better for me. You know, to be honest with you, you know, I feel welcome. You know, not judged, not things of that nature. You know, so I appreciate that. But to give a little quick brief on this, and I'm gonna move on. I met a young lady, you know, 2 days after I was out, man, and it's a trip that these words just, I was actually emailing her now while I was listening. we on a grace period, and it was really due to her. You know, she's so private, she's so like, she stands for a lot of things, and that's what made me intrigued about her. You know, yeah, I could have been sexually active with someone, but I didn't, because she intrigued me. Like, I like this challenge, you know. And these right words just hit it, man, on the nail, like, you know, in the intimate relationship, sex, it's like a signature contract. We've really been like tossing it up, like, we ready for this, things of that nature. So I want to really, you know, take this home with me, share this with her, give her a better understanding, like, man. And also I've been trying to get her to come to the Pop Grp with me. With the kids, whatever. But yeah, I really like this, man, and it just basically gave me a little bit more understanding about relationships and things of that nature. I'm definitely glad, man. I really like it, man. You know?
Yeah, that's right.
Thank y'all.
Thank
Welcome.
Yeah. Hey, tonight, what you got for us, man?
bro.
Right. Well, you know, I'm reading this and I just sit back and think about the relationships that I've had in, you know, earlier in my life, you know, where I was just that guy that, you know, I would say the things, the right things to get the right things or the wrong things, you know what I mean, in those relationships. And it's like, now looking at it after reading these words, it's like these words ring so absolutely true that I find myself unconsciously doing or behaving in line with what the words say when it comes to relationships, you know? I just take my time and I like to talk about things before I just make a decision or just go move into things because maybe she wants to, you know what I mean? And there is a lot of things that we have to work out in the relationship that I'm in. I love her dearly. I've been knowing her since I was 17 years old. You know, however, we have not been together the entire time. But she, and I'd be foolish to think that she's not made for me because she absolutely is. She was with my family all the time I was gone. So you have to think that she knows more about me than any female on this planet because she was just simply with my family, with my mother. So, you know, she heard all of the stories from my childhood to everything, probably things I can't remember, you know. So, but these are things that we have to work through, you know what I mean? So, I'm definitely going to share this piece with her, and we're going to have us a diatribe about it. Yeah. I say it, a diatribe. Yeah. And definitely kind of use this language to help give her some insight into it too. Because oftentimes we don't have a language to explain or to analyze or to gain some understanding when certain things happen in our lives and we don't have a language. If a thing doesn't have a name, we don't know what it is. And if you can't call its name, then you shouldn't be messing with it. So, and that's my piece. So when I read it, that's what I was thinking about. I'm thinking about my actual relationship, but I was also, it made me think about relationships that I had in Japan and how I just evolved, and this language just speaks volumes to me when I read it.
Amen.
Yeah.
That was a good word, brother.
Thank you.
My brother Amos, he married. You know,
I ain't got to worry about all that.
Yeah, what's up? So, give us
I'm
something,
trying to get
man.
there.
Yeah, it's a good thing. I mean, you know, the Bible says a man finds a wife finds a good thing. That is my good thing right there.
That's right.
there. That's us taking things a bit better. She really went through it all. So she proved who she is. You know, she showed who she is. It just took me a while to see who she was and who I was dealing with. You know, as men, we sometimes resist these type of things, being locked down and all that. But, you know, I didn't really understand who she was or what she was. And it took me some years to find out. But I only got that opportunity because I was willing just to let down my guard and say, okay. that's the key to it. We have certain understandings, certain agreements, contracts, if you will. One of them is divorce is off the table. It's not an option for us. You know, we can get mad, we can do whatever, but we're not going to get divorced. We're talking about it. And we only go so long, because I find out most of the time, you know, when I'm not talking to her or she's not talking to me, we think the same thing. When is this shit gonna be over with? So, you know, it's basically we're in tune, you know, we're even in yoke. So, you know, people can't see it from the outside because they're not spiritually connected like we are. So, you know, my wife within herself is a powerful person, a person with influence and education and college. So people don't understand that, you know, so we don't really trip on that. It's not for anybody else to understand. It's not for them to know. You know what I mean? So we heard comments over the years about it. Why are you with him and all that? You know what I mean? But it ain't for you. You know what I mean? My reply was, why is your wife with you? You know what I mean? So that's how I tell them when they talk to me like that. But on the real side, you know what I mean? I'm happy. You know what I mean? I'm happy. I'm content. You know what I mean? I don't have two minds. I'm in two directions. You know, I'm not trying to love two people. I'm not trying to run around. I'm cool. I'm happy. I'm content. I got what I want. I got what I need, and I'm just staying. You know what I mean? I'm on the outside. The days in my heart, they took me up all the time. You know. Now that I'm at home, ISI is not affected like that. You know what I mean? I can go somewhere and come back to the house. Recently, she went to a family reunion and was gone, you know, from Thursday to Sunday. You know. I was in the house by myself, you know what I mean? It was cool, you know what I mean? It was cool because I just kept her the house down, do the things I normally do, and I ain't bad, you know, so, you know, I got a ways to go, you know what I mean, because I was locked up so long, and being locked up, you know, we don't develop a lot of intimacy like that, telling people what we think, what we feel, you know? I can recall getting in our bed, and I was like, man, this is getting too damn soft for me, you know? And my baby tried to hug me. I'm like, I'm not used to that, baby. Hold up, you know. Wait a minute, you know. I'm used to sleeping by myself. I slept by myself over 30-something years. You know, I mean, I had a circle of boundary around me that never let nobody trust me. Now all of a sudden, I'm married to my wife. I'm at home living with her. You know, she wants some love on me, and she wants to be loved back. So, you know, I'm learning to go through that. Dealing with that situation. But I'll tell you this, it's worth it. It's worth it. Everything I go through is worth it. Even the hard times is worth it, because one thing we know for sure, we're going to be strong when we get through it. And we're going to get through it.
That's right. That's
You
right.
know,
That's why I got to go.
that was good. You know, good word, man. You know, I was thinking about my, my ex-wife. I was thinking about her in contrast to my relationship I have, you know.
Yeah.
And I think that for us, speaking about myself and my ex-wife, our expectations was the contract.
Yeah.
See what I'm saying? And I think that when the expectations were not met, that it started to erode the contract.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And you know, it's important, man, that when we're talking about relationships, that we're talking about two people, you know, me and her, you know, and not just her, but you know, me too, and we hooked up while I was in prison, right? And but you know, I don't think we took the time to really delve into what were the expectations, and you know, and just what each other wanted out of life moving forward.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I don't think we did that. I think that those things are important because those are what defines and shapes the contract or the agreement.
That's the
You know,
fine print.
and right, and I don't think we did that. I don't think we did that. Only thing I cared about, I had already had a child by her, and you know me developing a healthy relationship with myself now, right? Because that wasn't always harmonious. You know, I was betraying my own self at first, you know what I'm saying? But as I started to gain knowledge of self, and then, you know, I started to love on me, and, you know, and became comfortable with who I was. And then at that point now I had this value, you know what I'm saying? I had all this up. So I saw my son out there, saw his mother. I knew what the statistics were. I knew what the traps were, you know what I'm saying? And I wanted to kind of, if I could, you know, I knew I couldn't turn the clock back, you know, but I wanted to, you know, still do some good and come out, you know, they're married to his mother. But we never really delved deeply into what each other wanted for life. And you know, we really wanted two different things. You know what I'm saying? And so we couldn't really move forward because we never really understood the nature of the contract to begin with.
Wow.
So, you know, however, you know, moving forward, you know, lessons, you know, learned and wisdom gained. Now, this lady I have now, right? I took the time to find out exactly what she wants from her life, out of her life. What do you want? You know, what do you want? You know, and that way I can now become empowered with the information. Now, okay, now can I walk with her? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And you know, I told her what I want. You know, and so she can decide. You know, she could be informed as to whether or not she could walk with me. Well, we decided that we could walk with each other.
Amen. Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
so you know, that's what we're doing.
Yeah.
We walking this thing.
And she'll be walking in Thomas too for dinner.
Yeah.
Yeah, y'all be walking together in Thomas for dinner with us too.
Yeah.
Tell her I said so. Y'all won't be walking together.
Yes, sir.
So we got a guest here. And brother, would you introduce yourself and share what you think about the reading too?
Sure. I'm gonna go up there because I know they're not too notes.
Oh, sure.
Can I do the opposite? Can I talk first and then talk about that? Because that's actually part of my discussion here.
Okay. All right, sure. Why
Is
not?
that all right?
Yeah, that's all right.
Pleasure. See y'all next
Good
week.
trash, sir.
Yeah, I got the picture.
Good trash, sir.
Tony.
Oh, yeah. Thanks.
Yeah,
You got your DVD?
That's right.
You got your DVD?
Certain time.
Oh, man.
You got your DVD?
Plug my charger up there. Yeah, I plug you back in. First of all, how y'all doing?
How you doing?
Good.
Doing good. So my name is Dante Curtis. I know Wayne. I know this brother. I know Dr. Price. I know Shane. I pretty much know the whole crew who operate out of the building. Me and Shane was at the last fundraiser, and he was like, "Man, come through to talk to y'all." And so that's how I got brought into this place, in this space, to acquire some knowledge. I'm 25 years old, and I tell folks that because I'm probably one of the youngest people who have probably been up here speaking. And I'm a full-time entrepreneur. So I go around the country speaking, workshops, trainings on entrepreneurship, financial literacy, and stuff of that nature. Let me tell you again, I said I'm 25 years old.
That's right.
Right? And so that's important because, oftentimes, I'm young. I hear some of y'all talking about y'all young, but I'm like really young, right? And people go, oh, our youth are doing this, our youth are doing that, but like, they don't see me, right? And so they see the gangs and all that stuff, but like, no, I'm 25 years old and I run a full-time business. I don't have a job. I don't put no time sheets in. I have a full-time business. And so, yeah, that's a little bit about me. About the relationship piece, right? I mean, y'all done said it, right? I'm not gonna add on to that because y'all have definitely gave a lot of insight into relationships, and I would just be repeating y'all. And so, y'all know how to do relationships. I'm really more concerned not about the other people. I'm concerned about you. So that's what we're gonna talk about today. Is that all right?
That's all right.
Is that good?
Yes.
So, how much time do I really have?
Well, okay. Well, you got around 20 minutes.
All right, well, we do that. All right, y'all. So, we're gonna see if we can get through this, because it's a lot of E's. So, we're about to talk about 7 words, and now start with E's. The first one is environment. Now, when I say environment, what comes to your mind?
Surroundings.
Yeah. What else?
Where we grew up.
Yeah. Say more about that.
The home.
Yeah.
The habits.
Yeah. Environment is important, right?
Culture.
It's about where you grew up at. It's about where you learn from your friends, right? Environment is important. Now, if y'all know anything about photosynthesis, right? Plants and stuff, right? Now let's say that you're the seed, okay? Let's say that you're the seed. And let's say that for some reason the seed isn't growing. Because sometimes seeds don't grow. What do? First of all, is it the seed's fault that the seed isn't growing?
It's just the soil.
It's the what?
It could be the soil.
Is there any possibility that it could be the seed?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes. Yes.
Wait, if a seed isn't growing, it's a seed?
Not necessarily, but it could be.
When?
Maybe it's not being nurtured properly.
It's not being nurtured properly. People, when seeds don't grow, it ain't the seed's fault. It's the what? It's the environment. So your environment matters, right? Let me help you out. If you're not growing, it's not you. It's the environment you're hanging around, right? Seeds need water. Seeds need sunlight.
Air.
Right? They need air. The environment and dirt, right? The soil has to be right in order for the seed to grow. You need to check your environment, right? You need to check your environment. You're not doing what you're supposed to do in life, right? You still don't have a job. You broke. You need to check your environment. Right? Because it's the environment. It's not the seed. And that's important because y'all, when you watch the news, right? I'm an African American male, right? I know. When you watch the news, when you watch TV, when you watch rap videos, our society will tell you that it's the seed. But it's not the seed, right? It ain't nothing really wrong with North Minneapolis, right? If you invest some money in, put some jobs, and put some money into the community, do you not think the seeds will grow? Seeds will grow, but the environment jacked up, right? And although it look bad, but there's not a lot of money going in here. Politicians ain't worried about all that, right? And so you clean the environment up, and the seed is nurtured. Environment is important, y'all. Who you hang around, right? One of my favorite quotes says that if you hang around 4 broke people, you gonna be the fifth.
Right.
Go. It's important, right? So check this out. So environment tends to determine your expectations. Who you are, what you do, probably came from where you was raised. Right? If you grew up in a Christian household, you probably went to church every Sunday. If you would have grew up Jehovah's Witness, you probably would be a Jehovah's Witness right now.
That's right.
Right? But all that comes from your environment. That's why it's so important. Your expectations just aren't yours. It's really about what you showing up. What was your youth like? Who you hanging around? Who your friends are? Right? I ain't gonna lie. I didn't start cussing until I started hanging around people who was cussing. Because my mom wouldn't play that, right? My mom was like, you said what? The hand be coming just like this. If I said anything remotely, that was a 4 or 5 letter word. Right? But until I started hanging around people who start cussing and doing stuff, hey, I started doing it. try not to, but it's still kind of hard every now and then. The words slip out. But y'all, expectations are important, y'all. One fun fact about expectations that I like talking about is called the Pillion effect. Have anybody heard of this before? So it's an educational term. And basically, what happened is they did some research and they did an experiment about the expectation of kids. So basically, what they did is they told teachers that this side of the room was geniuses and this side wasn't. And so because they were geniuses, they expected more out of this group. They didn't tell nothing. They didn't tell these people nothing. They just told the teachers, and these kids did better. Right? And what that tells us, as people who are looking at this experiment, is that if you raise your expectations, you tend to do better.
Okay, I like that.
Right? Y'all raise your expectations. Right? I know. You worried about making $15 an hour, man, raise your expectations. I promise you, if you shoot for 20, you go get 15. So what happens if you shoot for 30?
25.
Right? Because if you raise the bar, even if you don't hit it, you still go get it. You see what I'm saying? Does that make sense?
Yes,
Raise your expectations. If you gotta raise your expectations, it's important. Have high expectations, y'all. And the thing is this is my thing, right? My expectations are so high that when I go somewhere, like mine are up here and their expectations of me are down here. So I always overperform. Because I'm not worried about other people, I'm worried about myself. You should be doing stuff for yourself, not for other people. Right? The brother was just talking about how you doing good on the job, high expectations. Yeah, sure, their expectation for me might be just show up, come to work. No, it's show up, come to work on time, and perform with excellence. Right? Have some high expectations for yourself, y'all. Please have some high expectations. The next one.
Emotions.
Now, y'all just got done talking about relationships. Super important, right? Emotions. Anybody know what emotions actually mean? What emotion mean? The root word of emotion. What's the root word of emotions?
Well, the word means intense feelings.
That's got the root word. That's what that's English. That's English. That's the English.
Emotion.
I'm talking about the Latin.
Latin.
Yeah, I'm talking about the original definition of the word. It's actually really simple. It's actually really simple, right? Emotion stands for energy in motion. E, energy in motion. So let me help you. Let me help you out. Wherever your energy is, that's where you hit. So if you got negative energy, you know how they say birds of a feather flock together? Okay, that's what this is talking about. Right? That if you got negative energy, guess what happens? Negative will come back to you. Now check this out. Now, I was just in Chicago. For 8 days. Actually, I did yesterday, right? And I went to a museum, and they had Isaac Newton's 3 laws of gravity. Okay. Now, if you don't know, let me tell you that all of y'all are just flow energy, right? That's all we are. Okay. You put words out, your energy, your body, energy, everything is just energy. Okay. Newton's 3rd law of energy. Anybody know what it says? I'm sorry. Gravity. Anybody know what the 3rd law of gravity is? Nobody? The 3rd law of gravity. Y'all didn't take physics?
I used to know this stuff.
Alright, let me help you out quick. The 3rd law of gravity says that for every action, there's an equal and opposite reaction. Okay, that means that when I jump up, not only did I move, but the world moved a little bit. But because of his 1st law, that says that because I'm only 100 and some pounds, and the earth is this much that you can't actually tell because of the mass of me versus the mass of the earth. So if we are energy, that means that what you put out, it has to come back. Right? You know the song, what goes around comes around. Now, that's just not a song, it's a law.
Law of attraction, though.
Right? That's what it is. It's a law of attraction.
This is a law of attraction.
Law of attraction, right? It's a law of attraction. That's where they get it from. Right? I would say the law of attraction is more of a philosophical thing. This has been tested, proven, and verified. Because if you energy, it's the same thing. When you put out something, it got to come back to you. Right? If you bounce a basketball against this wall, what's going to happen? It got to bounce back. If you putting out good vibes, guess what got to come back?
Good vibes.
If you helping people, guess what's going to come back? Help. If you give people financially, guess what's going to come back?
Money.
Right? This ain't just biblical. This ain't just something that people say. It's just a law of attraction. But man, it's been tested, verified, and proven.
Okay.
Different than a theory. Right? A theory just something that, let me help you out, okay? A theory is something that they just say happened, and they still try to verify. Y'all, for something to become a law in science, you just said being like, bro, it ain't something you just say it. Scientists all across the world had to do some research on this to make sure this is real. All right, this is a law of motion. So if you energy, whatever you give it out, you better believe it's gonna come back.
That's right.
Right? You know, emotion is important. I have a whole workshop. When let me come back when we do a workshop on overcoming limiting beliefs. I have a whole workshop because the way that emotions work is that whatever your narrative is around something, that's what fosters negative emotions. So for example, if you say I want to be an entrepreneur, okay, and your narrative that come up is that you don't have enough money, right? When you start thinking about you not having enough money, those negative emotions come up.
That's right.
Yep.
Okay? It's not the fact that it's not the resources. It's not that you don't have enough money, you don't have this and not this. It's that your emotions are dictating where you're going. If you change your narrative, I actually do have enough money, I actually do have the resources, it will give you better emotions, and then you're going to go in the positive way of your emotions.
Okay.
Okay? Well, you gotta let me come back and do that, man. It's about when I started my business, right? When I started my business, literally a year and a half ago, right? I had negative emotions. I was like, hey, you know what? People won't pay me to do it. These are the things. These were the narratives I was telling myself, right?
Mm-hmm.
People would not pay me to come and speak. People would not pay me to come to workshops. And so, because I believed that, guess what I didn't do? I did go start a business, right? People are saying, hey, I want to go to the gym, but then right after they say that, you know what they say next? I don't have enough time. It didn't work last time. It ain't gonna work. You know, the gym costs too much money. And so that leads to negative emotions. And so guess what they end up doing? Nothing. If you change your narrative and say, actually I can wake up 5 o'clock in the morning and go to the gym, if I can change your narrative, we can change your situation. And emotions are real. Alright, let's move on, because I don't got a lot of time. We're gonna do education next. Y'all reading the book right now, what y'all reading? Yeah, what y'all learning so far? One of my favorite books ever. Y'all do know that's the #1 finance book in the 20th century.
Yeah.
I hope y'all actually are taking in that book.
Absolutely.
That book got some really good stuff
Yes,
in
it
it.
does.
Alright, y'all learned about the cash flow quadrant? Right, the 4 ways that people make money? Yeah, that's a good book. If y'all not paying attention, right, y'all might be showing up and you might be kind of zoning in and out, man, pay attention. And that book can change your life.
Yeah.
Alright? Y'all but not just formal education, right? Not just college, not just that, right? But y'all get self-education. You need to get education about yourself. How do you feel? What do you like? What are your values? You need to, what you want to do in life, right? That's so what y'all was talking about, right? It's hard to get in a relationship. You don't know what you want to do in life.
That's education.
That's education.
That's what it is.
Right?
What it is.
Education is
Bring
really
out.
about the discovery of self.
Bring out. That's right.
It's about the discovery of self. It's not about knowing all the skills. You need to know some skills, but you need to learn about yourself. Self-leadership is super important, y'all. Go get the degrees, go get all that stuff, but also make sure you do the informal stuff. How many of y'all read books? Right? Go read some books, y'all. Read some books. And if I can really encourage you, try to read non-fiction books. Don't go read Alice in Wonderland. Go read like The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. Right? Go read some Robert Kiyosaki, Rich Dad, Poor Dad. Right? Go read some Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill. Oh yeah, you read that? Yeah, you read that book, right? I just got to read The Power of Habit. Y'all don't read some books that will help you, right? Read some books. Ask Wayne. He got some books in his place. Ask him for some recommendations, right? Read Dr. Brendan Price books. That's one of my favorite books. Some of my books, I actually own 3 copies. That's the only books I loan out to people. The education is important, y'all. Get education. After education, though, I'm actually reading a book right now. Oh man. Anybody know what self-efficacy is?
Efficacy.
Efficacy.
I know the word means to be capable of taking care of yourself.
Oh yes. So after you learn about yourself, now you can actually handle about what you got going on. Y'all, this is probably the most important. Well, I don't know, it might not be important, but it's really important, right? Everybody read the 7 Habits, How They Affect People, right? Habit #1.
Habit number 1, my goodness.
We start with an R.
Reactive, don't be reactive.
Don't be reactive.
Don't be reactive.
Responsible. Right? That's habit #1. I know I said that book about that in my head. Right?
That's my book, yeah.
He said be responsible. That's what self-efficacy is. Y'all, whatever you got going on in your life, I don't care what it is. Okay? I don't care what it is. You can tell me something. It don't even matter. Know that you always have the ability to respond.
Instead of reacting.
Instead of reacting. Somebody talking to you crazy at work, they didn't make you mad,
Right.
right? Oh man, no, they didn't make you mad. You responded crazy. That's your fault,
You react.
right? You was late. It wasn't Metro's fault. You should have waked up earlier,
Proactive.
right? You broke, your fault. You didn't get up and go get a job, right? You sick, you ain't taking care of your body, right?
Right.
Everything come back to you because that's the only thing you can control, right? Someone cut you off, hey, it's your fault why you mad about to crash and cussing them out and all infuriated and stuff, right? Because somebody else could be in that same situation and just be like, you know what, I'm not gonna worry about it today, right? It could be raining, you could be stuck in traffic, you got one person over here, you know, mad, frustrated, pissed off, and you got somebody over here just like listening to gospel music. Listening to audiobook. Same situation, different responses. How you gonna respond? Right? Self-efficacy is important. Now my favorite is entrepreneurship. I'm actually gonna spend most time on this. I can't actually spell entrepreneurship, so let me just not. Man, wait, take a picture of that, man. Take a picture of that, man. Don't take a picture of that, man. You know I can't spell entrepreneurship. That's a hard word.
You are.
Yeah, I missed it. That's all right. That's all right. Wayne, just stop taking pictures. Just stop taking pictures, man. Just stop taking pictures. Entrepreneurship is hard word. You know, I have one, but I still can't spell it. Y'all, so the last point is excellence, right? And I'm gonna do them inverted because I wouldn't want to spend in on entrepreneurship, y'all, because I think it's even fresh this program. Excellence is all about you and come with your best. That's what excellence is about, right? It means showing up your best every single time. And that doesn't mean you being fake, right? That doesn't mean like, oh, you know, you someone you not, right? I wear a suit almost every day. Right? Not because I'm trying to impress somebody, but well, when I'm from Houston, Texas, that's one reason why I see it. Right? I wear a suit every day. But excellence is about you showing your best self, right? And especially as black men, we gotta show up our best selves. Cause you just not fighting, you know, the next person, but you fighting really all of America in the stereotypes. And you gotta show up. You gotta defy the stereotypes. Excellence is real, right? And excellence isn't about somebody else's standard of you. It's about your standard of you. You should want to look good, right? You should want to do your best, right? You should want to be on time. That's not about nobody else. That's about you. Now this last one, entrepreneurship. Let me tell you why. Let me tell you why this is my favorite thing about this whole thing, especially when I'm talking to people who might have a history or have, you know, records or whatever. Now, I know a lot of places will tell you to get a job. I know they will. You know, go get a job, you know, some of y'all probably got jobs, that's fine. I'm not against jobs, okay? I'm really not. Go get you a job. But as some of you know, right, when you get a job, what happens? You get turned away. Why? Because of your history, right? And there's some legislation right now going on to reverse that, but y'all, when you go and start a business, do the Secretary of State ask you about your history?
No.
Say it again?
They just want that $155.
That's all they want.
Yeah.
They don't ask you. They don't ask you about your record. Oh wow. Dude. Now, wait. They don't ask you? Y'all sure they don't ask you about your record?
Credit record, maybe.
They don't ask you about that. You can have whack credit. You can have whack credit and start a business.
Yeah, real.
Y'all, entrepreneurship actually creates a whole new identity for you. Not just like you got a business name, but I mean literally under the United States tax code, you have a new identity. You a whole nother entity.
Yeah, that's true.
Y'all, look, if you don't have a plan to go start you a business after tonight, I don't know, y'all might need to come talk to me, go talk to Wayne and do something. Right? Because this whole thing, oh, I can get a job, you shouldn't be looking for a job.
Yeah, that's right.
Because nobody has asked me ever that you got a felony. No, don't matter. Don't matter. They say, what's your credit? Don't matter. All I do is be like, look, I own a business. That's all they need to know. Because really, they're not even looking at me. They're actually looking at my business, which is called Catch Your Dreams. Right? They don't even see Dante Curtis. I don't even put my name on the W-9 form. Because it's not me. It's Catch Your Dream. Now, of course, I work for Catch Your Dream. I'm the owner. But they don't see me. Now, if you are not, right? I tell folks all the time, all these programs around re-entry and replanting on that, if they're not talking about entrepreneurship, y'all need to go somewhere else. Because entrepreneurship is the most equitable thing in the United States of America. And if you don't believe me, just go read some of our history, right? Our forefathers talked about it. Carter G. Woodson. Y'all know who Carter G. Woodson is? Of course Carter G.
The
Woodson.
father of black history.
I'm glad you know that.
Yeah.
Now y'all be honest with me right quick. How many of y'all have said, you know, some of your friends have said, 'cause you know y'all are intelligent, but some of your friends have said that those people are the reason why we got February. How many of y'all have said that? Be honest with me. No, seriously, be honest. Y'all can be honest. Raise your hand.
Yeah.
Like seriously, raise your hand if you just said something to the effect of like, oh, why they gave us February? It's the shortest month of the year. Why would we have money? Have y'all said anything
It
before?
used to be a week.
You heard it?
Yeah.
Y'all heard it? Has someone ever said that before?
Yeah, somebody, yeah.
Right? You didn't heard that?
Oh,
So it's a lie. Because Carter G. Woodson started. Right? But if I give you one reading recommendation, go read The Miseducation of the Negro.
That's a good book.
Right? He actually has a whole chapter on entrepreneurship. Right? Go read some W. Du Bois. She talks about entrepreneurship. Go read some George Washington Carver. You talk about entrepreneurship. Right? Now, entrepreneurship is in our DNA. Because no matter what's happening, whether you got a felony, whether your credit jacked up, whether you don't have a house, right? None of that stuff matters when you're an entrepreneur. How old do you have to be an entrepreneur? Oh, there's no age limit either. Oh, okay. So that's why we got a 13-year-old selling hot dogs right now in North Minneapolis. Because again, it don't matter. They didn't ask him, oh, bro, how old are you? Are you in high school yet? I'm telling you. If you're not an entrepreneur, man, go get it. Also, the pay is better too, FYI. But I'm just saying, right? I mean, seriously, folks out here making $13, $14 an hour would think that's a lot of money. Like, I mean, seriously, y'all, like, it's really not, right? I'm just being real, right? So as y'all keep reading, right, because I can look, you're gonna talk about this, right? Assets, right? Because when you start a business, you build assets, right? You're not really building nothing in your job, right? You build assets, though, right? So when I do work today for my business, tomorrow that work's still going. It don't stop because I clock out. You don't clock out of a business. I mean, every day I'm building, right? And I'm not building hours. I'm not building my bank. I'm building assets, generational wealth, right? So that's really all I got for y'all. Any questions? Any comments? Anything that anything y'all want to say? How many?
Brother hand too, man.
What's the name of the business again?
Catch Your Dream Consulting.
Catch Your Dream.
Catch Your Dream Consulting.
Actually, though, I just want to add something. He said he's here because he met Shane, and actually it goes back a little bit deeper. He's a part of the same organization group that Darius is a part, right? The fellowship and everything. Right. So we came there to support Darius, and actually we had suggested that he go out for it, right? Because I was asked first. Right? And I said, man, I could, but man, I'd probably be everybody's dad there, you know what I mean? Because I knew it was going to be a lot of young people there. So I told him, ask Darius, right? And Darius, and so he accepted, and we went to support him, and that's where we met Dante.
Okay.
See what I'm saying? So the relationship actually started there, and and everything is connected, and so and then he's here now.
That's right.
He's brother, great job, man.
Yeah,
and we're
man,
proud of you, man. Because like you said, you're 25 years old. You told us this like 8 times. So yeah, and it's inspirational. Man, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. Anybody got any feedback for the brother?
I like that. That was very inspiring, man. I like what you said. You know what I mean? That's motivated right there. That's motivation right there. You know what I mean? If you can advocate at an early age, you can advocate at old age. You know,
right.
So you put it out there where it is, right? That for me is the whole thing with the Rich Dad Poor Dad book. You know what I mean? Dare to take the chance, right? Don't listen to the people who say you can't. You know what I mean? Because you can't never live on what people say you can do, what they expect you to do. You know what I mean? So I love that.
And the environment does not always explicitly say you can't do something.
Right.
It most often implicitly says you can't do something. Because when you look around you and you see everybody hurting, and you kind of gauge yourself
Right,
based
right,
on your
right,
environment.
Right.
That's right.
So now
Like
you're
a
saying
subtle-
to yourself, it's a subtle
Yeah, that's
thing,
right.
and and that's saying to yourself, man,
That's right.
I can't do anything.
Right.
Good.
So
That's
you
right. That's
make
good.
emotional decisions.
That's good.
And those emotional decisions is you pick
Good.
up a pack, you pick up a gun, you're angry, you're mad, somebody done did something, you know what I mean?
That's right.
So, absolutely, man,
Yeah.
I'm good.
Excellent job.
I need Joe Campbell.
You on Facebook? Y'all on Facebook? Yeah, Facebook. What's up?
In regards to the beginning when you were talking about seeds, this is Mexican proverb that I really love. It says, they tried to bury us, they didn't realize that we were seeds.
Right.
I love that.
Right.
Yeah,
That's right.
I discovered that right before New Year's. And when I was sitting down with my fellowship of people from the program, I used that. I said, you know, this is a proverb. I said, they tried to bury us. They didn't know that we were seeds. May 2018 be a year of unyielding growth for all of us. You know, and I really like that. I really think that's a
One more point about seeds. Thank you, brother. One more point about seeds, right? That I forgot to mention is that in order for a seed to grow, it takes consistency, right? You can't water a seed one day on Monday and think that it's gonna just sprout up, right? You can't even water a seed on Monday and Tuesday and think it's gonna sprout up. Now, some of us try and just do your dream on Monday and do it on Tuesday. And you might do it on Wednesday. You might somewhat do it on Thursday, and then you think on Friday, why ain't this thing growing? Right? Seeds are smarter than that. Seeds know that if you get water one day, man, bro, why y'all playing with me up there, right? Like, right? I mean, seeds know that, right? It's just like working out. You can't just work out on Monday, every Monday, and think, oh man, I'm gonna get stronger, right? You gotta work out. It's some consistency going on here, right? It's that accumulation effect. And so when you start talking about growth and habits and stuff, it's an accumulation effect. You just can't say, oh, I'm gonna do this on Monday. Nah, you gotta be consistent. Show up on time consistently. Work on yourself consistently. Read books consistently. Right? Because I'm telling you, go out and just like water the seed, you know, for a couple days. It ain't gonna work. It will not work. You know, and some of us are like, oh, I did this one time, right? I wanted this, you know, I went to church one time. I came to this group one time. They ain't gonna change you. You ain't gonna grow. That ain't how seeds work. Seeds are smart.
Another thing is, when a plant begins to grow, if that plant doesn't get the stress from the wind, it doesn't grow strong. You know? And I think the stress in my life, the things that I've endured, the things that my experiences have caused me to grow a lot stronger. And I can take more now than I used to. I can bear more seeds.
See, them seeds, they grow down first.
Yep.
Like root.
That's right.
Yep.
That's right.
Then they start to sprout.
Yeah. I mean, even your muscles, right? I mean, your muscles, right? You go work out, you show up for a couple days, all that is your muscles are breaking. You gotta break so it can build. Like, these are laws, y'all. Like, if you ever want to know about success or anything, man, like, books tell you, but really, I would go back to nature.
Yeah.
Like, nature got some real good stuff, right? I mean, so nature will tell you some stuff about success, about life. You just can't get nowhere else. So, cool.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Again.